Hi, everybody. It's Randy and Kim
Hi.
for the Yaay or No Way show
I need to be
coming
taller
to you
today.
from the cellar in Perry Hall.
Yeah, it's nice and dark down here because it's
Taller
nice.
than me
I
today.
know, I had to be because I felt really short. It's a sad day for all the people that are tuning in from not Baltimore. It's a nice rainy day, so if you're having sunshine where you are, please share your.
It's 52
temperature.
degrees.
It is 52 degrees, but it's also pouring down rain.
Yes. And to Beth, who I'm sure will be watching this later, I was talking with her the other day when it was 9 degrees.
Yes.
And she said it was a balmy 38 where she was at.
She's in the Carolinas, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, Hilton Head. Yes.
Where is
So,
that
yeah.
south or
Yeah,
north?
South Carolina.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know my Carolinas.
So today we're going to be talking, amongst other things, about the rain and about best places to work.
Yes.
So first, a plug for Dave Cummings and Cummings & Company Realtors. We were ranked for the third year in a row a best place to work for mid-sized companies. I think we are number one again this year.
We were number one again for 2018, and then we were a location for the year prior, and then I think we were number one the year before that. So, toot, humble brag.
So definitely good rankings there. And it is a lot of fun to work here. You work with a lot of people that are professional, people that know what they're doing, and us. What could be better?
We should have left that there. We were playing around with the filters, and there was like one that was like stars.
I know, and I didn't, I guess, I don't know. I'm going to have to learn how to use this one day.
Randy doesn't know how to use filters. We're going to have to do a filtered training for him.
I do know how to use the live button, though, and we're living right now.
Living right now, living the dream.
Shout out to Tom Ferry, who likes to use the live button every time he picks up his phone. He lives everything.
He does.
And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, live, another word for live.
Yep.
Pronounced.
Har. Hi, Katie.
Katie, best place ever. And Katie is our master at arms. She guards the front entrance from invaders and everything. So today we're going to be talking about best places to work. We've already plugged ourselves, but we're also going to have a little fun with it and look at this from the perspective of if all salaries were even, where would you want to work?
That's a good question. What was your first job, Randy?
My
Your
first
first
job.
paying job, like
My first job would not be where I would want to work. It was not a best place to work. However, I learned a lot from there, and my first job was washing dishes at a Mexican restaurant.
oh man.
And
And what
so
was your
I would have to
takeaway
just
from all that?
scrape all the food into the trash.
Yeah.
That was, Mexican food has a special look to it after it's all been mixed up.
Yeah,
and
it looks
everything.
kind of like baby food.
And then I would have to take that trash can outside, and you talking about like one of those 50 or 60 gallon trash cans that's full of food from top to bottom. That baby weighs about 150 pounds on the way out. So you got a good workout. And, I burned my hands constantly, on the dishwasher thing every night. I mean, it's just numb. And it was gross, but I worked my way up. I learned the value of hard work. It was $3.35 an hour when I started. Back in, the days before TV and cars and stuff like that.
Back when we had horse-drawn carriages.
Kids today are like $3.35.
Oh man!
I wouldn't even walk the dog for $3.35.
Dog walkers actually charge a lot of money. I think.
So what was your first job?
My first job was working for my dad, which wasn't like a real job, but he owned a business where we'd have to pack stuff up, and I was the worst. My dad actually fired me. He told me not to return back to work. One, because I didn't actually understand that.
And you didn't work from home, right?
No.
Good, then you could go back home.
I didn't actually understand what the meaning of like payday was. I just thought that I was like, where's my, I was like a day laborer. And then I broke too much stuff, so he sent me away. My first job in high school was actually in the summertime working with my friend's family who owned a concession business. So I don't know, do you guys know what elephant ears are out here? So like big pieces of fried dough that you dip in like cinnamon and sugar. So really, I was a carny.
So we have the funnel cake.
Funnel cake. So
which
no,
is
this
like
is
where they drip it in.
Yeah, it's not quite the same thing.
You're talking about like a huge chunk.
A huge
Jennifer would love that.
Yeah, and it's they're very delicious. I actually hate the cooking smell of like hot grease now because of that. I think I probably made about $4 an hour, but we worked a lot of hours. There was a lot of illegal overtime in this business, but it kept me out of trouble all summer, and I would come home and I thought I was rich because you're just like, you had all this money, and then I would spend it all in like 2.5 weeks. So
Yeah, when I think back now at the fact that I was probably netting $2.25 an
Yeah.
hour or something like that for doing all that, I was like, I can see where I can see why people turn to a life of crime.
yeah, so that was my first job. My first adult job, I was actually a bill collector for a credit card. That was fun.
Interesting. Yep. I don't get those calls, thankfully.
Yeah, I was.
But I have plenty of people that I know that do.
Yeah, it was. I worked for JCPenney Credit, so it wasn't an essential. Not any credit. No credit cards are essential. They're good to have, but so people were essentially going into collections over drapes, which are expensive.
They are expensive. Yeah.
They are really expensive.
So now we're going to shift gears and talk about jobs that we could have if all jobs paid the same. One job that I think I would excel at, in my own opinion.
In your own opinion.
In my own world, is security for a store.
Like
Walmart or
okay.
any of those things. I think I'm great at picking out who the security people are in stores. And I think I'd be good at doing it. I think nowadays in this society that we live in, where they would just rather let them steal than confront them and have it be an issue or whatever, I probably wouldn't want to do it like that.
Yeah, well, that is a thing. So my sister works in retail, and she let me know that they don't actually stop you when you shoplift. And I was like, well, then what's the point of security? And I guess they just wait.
Well, make sure you don't mention what store it is.
No, I'm not going to say what store it is. But this is actually like across the board. Like
that's their policy.
Yeah, it's like,
and they don't call the police or anything.
No, it's really just for.
They're like, have a great day. Enjoy the dress.
Did you get everything that you needed?
Did you find everything that you needed?
Who
was helping you today?
Myself. Thank you very much.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and it's standard practice, and I think a lot of it is because of like safety. You don't know, somebody might try to take you out over a pair of slacks. So I don't know.
So what would be one of your jobs that you would do if all things were equal? If we were in Russia and every job paid the same?
And every job paid the same? That's a good question. I don't know. I would probably still do something where I talk to people all the time. I would probably work at like the mall, selling makeup or something that I liked, that I got some enjoyment out of. Makeup.
Making people look better. I mean, that's good for everybody.
Right. I would like put makeup on little old ladies. I think I would do that. I think that would be fun. I definitely would not work in like food service or anything like that, because I don't feel like that's a very happy place to be. If anybody wants to share what their first job was, or second job, or favorite job,
or if you could have
ideal
this
job, or if you are interested in being a real estate agent, put it in the comments. We will tell you all about the best job in the world, which is being your realtor.
Yep. And it has its pros and cons. We're not going to lie to you. There's, up days and down days. Our business kind of ebbs and flows with the amount of sun that we get.
Yes.
With sunny days in July, we're, sun up to sundown.
Katie, beer wine taster. Yes, I actually would love to. I don't know how to say it. How do you? It's like sommelier. Sommelier. I don't know. When you're like a wine connoisseur. That would probably be a job that I would be really good at. However, I would not spit the wine out, because that's wasteful.
No, you just drink it.
Yeah.
That's what your stomach is for. It'll take care of it for you.
Katie's first job was at Barnes & Noble. Did people shoplift books? Books are expensive.
That would be my middle child's ideal job, just working in a store where you're surrounded by books.
Oh.
Or video games. Or what's the video game store?
GameStop.
Yeah.
GameStop.
Probably couldn't get him out of there. So another job that I've always been fascinated with, and I have a lot of clients and friends that do this job, so hats off to them. I don't have a hat on. So, but it's a great job, great exercise, but on days like today, God bless them, I'm sure they're hating it, trash collector.
Yes.
You get a lot of exercise, you get a lot of stuff, but it does wear you down. It's a lot of physical labor.
I also feel like the trash collectors are definitely some of the first people that go to work in the morning, because the trash collection in our neighborhood starts at about 4:45.
Yep.
And the only reason why I know that is because the trash collectors are the only people that are up before me.
Yep.
And I get up very, very early because I'm not a sound sleeper. So if I am still sleeping, the trash truck wakes me up.
Yeah, because they're usually done their shift probably like soon after lunch.
1 o'clock, 1 or 2. I had a client who was a trash collector, and he was always available at 2 p.m.
Yep.
I thought about them, and it was 2 degrees the other day. I know. I felt so bad for them. Hi, Krista.
You definitely want to work your way up to be the driver. In that one.
I wonder how that seniority works. Like,
I know. I just sold a house to a guy. I'm not going to call him out on the air, but I just sold a house to a guy, and he's in his late 20s, and he's already graduated to the driver. So maybe there's a lot of turnover in that job.
Or maybe you just have to be a really good driver. I definitely would not be trusted to drive a trash truck. I can't even be trusted to operate a average sized vehicle. So
yeah, that's a lot of responsibility, because those trash trucks can go through your house pretty easily.
One went through a house in my neighborhood, by the way, and they still haven't fixed their house.
Probably texting, maybe.
No, he actually had a stroke.
Oh, well, that's not good.
It's like a stroke or a heart attack or something.
I'm sure the people in the house probably had a stroke or a heart attack also.
It was in the middle of the day. I can tell you that they have not fixed their house yet, and it's been quite a while. So I don't know. Did they total? Can your house be totaled? Like,
I don't know. I mean, the insurance adjuster has to come out, and they have to do all this for. But that's horrible for them.
And like the basement was above grade.
Because they probably have to rebuild it, and it's attached to other people's houses.
No, it was actually single family, luckily. But their basement was above grade, so
it took out their foundation.
It took the
trash truck is the vehicle of choice for the zombie apocalypse.
If there is a zombie apocalypse, I'm definitely stealing a trash truck. How do you get the job of sitting in on YouTube for massage tutorials? That I don't know.
That is a good question.
Krista, you know the people that had their house hit by the trash truck. I'm gonna have to call you because I want some. They were my neighbors from up the street. I'm
You need to do it on location.
I know. I'm gonna go live. I feel really bad. I drive past their house every day and the tarp is still up. So
Speaking of which, if you have a house that would be susceptible. This is a great house question. If you have a house that would be susceptible to a car driving through it or something like that, like I know when I'm driving to Falston, I can't remember what road it is, but there's one road that you come down this hill, and these poor people have a house like right at the bottom of this hill. If anybody slips, slides, falls asleep at the wheel, you're going right through the living room and probably out the back door. But you have to check your local ordinances and everything about what you can put in front of your house. Obviously, trees are fair game because that's nature. But if you put those big rocks and stuff, a lot of times they won't let you do it because they say it'll be harmful to the person who runs into them.
You would think you'd want to create a barrier. I live in a townhouse like on the end. Like I would love to build like a little retaining wall, not only to keep people's dogs off my yard, but just in case. When they did the trash truck, I actually thought it was my house for like a nanosecond.
Yep. So what about sportscaster? Anything with sports? Do you think you would love to do that, since I know you love sports?
So I don't know. I would definitely go on TV and give like a blooper reel of like my version of sports. I don't know anything about sports.
Gosh, that would be hilarious.
However, I have always, when I was in college, my dream was to be like a radio personality.
And now you're on TV.
Now I'm on TV, so I leveled up on my dream.
I forget the name of the girls, but you know that song "Sports Go Sports."
Kinda.
It's where they make fun of sports and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Our team is number one and stuff like that. It's hilarious. Little known fact about Randy, in case you're looking for things to break into my bank account for. I actually was a sportscaster. I was up in the booth of North Carolina high school football games. It was only broadcast locally at the stadium.
Just at the
time.
stadium.
But they did let me in front of a mic where at least, I don't know, probably 1,000 people were listening. And I was very entertaining because I never played football as a kid. I barely like it as an adult.
Yeah.
I know just enough.
I don't know anything
I know
about
that
football.
you need 11 people on each side.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And I know that the referees wear different outfits. And so me
I
and
do
my
know that.
limited ability, I went up there and I had a blast with it. And I had my buddy Sandy, who was coaching me through it. She was telling me what I was allowed to say and what I wasn't allowed to say. And I was the colorful commentary guy. I would just say, and it got taken down by a plethora of defenders. And I would just throw out different vocabulary words and stuff that I was pretty sure hardly anybody knew. And she'd be like, you can't say that. Nobody knows what you're talking about.
It's college, or it was high school football.
And they were like, and I would call them up, like, oh, and it's a offensive penalty on number 7. She's like, she would cover off the mic. She's like, you can't say what it is, who it was, it'll hurt their feelings or something like that. I'm like, oh my
This
god.
sounds like the worst job ever.
These are football. She was like my censor. She was like, tell me everything that I couldn't say.
I definitely think that I would excel at commentary only if it was funny. I only like to talk about things that I want to talk about, which is not sports. So if I could like drink wine and talk on YouTube and get paid for it, that would probably be my dream job.
What about taxi driver?
I
I
think
wouldn't wanna sit
that
all
would
day.
be fun. One of my lifelong dreams is, does anybody know what Taxi Cab Confessions is? Do you know what that show is?
Yeah, I've seen that.
So
Yeah.
my dream is to be on Taxi Cab Confessions. And at one time I was in Las Vegas and they had a camera and I really thought it was happening. And he was like, no, this is like for security, girl. And I was, I was crushed. That is my dream. I would not want to be the actual driver though. I don't think that would.
One of the things that Sydney was pointing out to me yesterday is her and I were driving all around, and she's like, it doesn't matter what car you're in, you're always happy when you get out. No
That
matter
is
how
true.
expensive your car is, you're always just happy to stretch and get out of the car. And I gotta kind of feel bad for taxi drivers. I bet they're probably the first people to be bent over and hunched over all the time from just being in that position.
Being in the car all
All
day.
the time.
Driving is not my favorite thing to do. It's not even in my top 50 favorite things to do. So I don't think I would be good as a professional driver, no matter how much I was paid.
So other jobs out there, there's tons. I remember as a kid, and anybody who's probably older than 30 or 40 years old probably has the same recollection. When you were a kid and people asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up, you knew you had three choices. You could be a teacher, a fireman, or a policeman, because those are the only jobs that we knew. We didn't even know what our parents did.
Yeah. I never knew what my parents did until I was like in high school. I had no idea.
My
how.
mom became a teacher, so that was one of the things. And my
Yeah.
dad was definitely not a fireman. He worked at a warehouse, Giant Food, driving a forklift.
Yeah.
And they one time made the big mistake of having a family day at the warehouse, and we got to come in, and I was like 7
Did you
years
drive
old,
the forklift?
And I got to drive the forklift. Of course, he was in there with me, but that could have turned out really bad because these racks in this building were like 50, 60 feet high.
They
Some of
definitely
these
don't
things.
allow that anymore. They don't allow, like, I mean, you can bring your kids to work, but they don't get to touch anything. They're like, too much liability. Don't let them touch a single thing.
I did later in life start taking inventory. This is what I did to work my way through college. I did start taking inventory of grocery stores at night. Apparently, it was in my genes or something, I guess, the grocery store life. And I was one of those people that would walk around with a calculator strapped to their hip, typing like 100 miles an hour and taking inventory of everything. That was kind of a fun job because we'd go in there at night and people inevitably would always ask us what we were doing or this or that or
Why are you
sometimes
here?
they would take something off the shelf while we were doing it.
You're like, don't
And
touch
I would
that.
grab it and put it back in there. No, but I want this. I'm like, yeah, okay, you can take it. And I would edit it out or whatever. That was kind of a fun job. I think any job that you do well is a fun job.
I think any job could be a fun job. What did Steve Jobs say? If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I don't know if that's necessarily
No,
true,
Steve.
but I do think that if you get some gratification out of it, it's a good thing. We love what we do, even when it's raining outside, even when it's snowing outside.
Yep, we already looked at a few houses this morning for
Yep.
some clients and everything. And when we're not looking at houses with clients, we preview them for clients. So it's what we do. We know our inventory. We know what's out there. If you want to know stuff that's coming on the market, even before it comes on the market.
We know. We've already been in the house.
So Kim, one of our callers, asked this question. What's the one thing that you wished buyers knew? Like what's something that they don't know that you wish that they knew?
That buying a home is easier than you think. Most people, if you talk to people post-purchase, they will almost always say that it was easier, that it was smoother,
And I wish I'd have done it years
and I
ago.
wish I had done it years ago. So if your apprehension is that somebody told you that buying a house is hard, stressful, expensive, if you have the right support system, you can do anything, including buying a house. So I think that's probably the number one thing.
Yep, I think that's really good. It wasn't what I was expecting as an answer. That was a great one. Because a lot of times, whenever we have things that we have to do, the most important, hardest thing is always at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
It's always down low. Buy a house, fix my credit, curl my hair. Whatever the case may be, whatever it is that is keeping you from doing something, you got to bring it to the top of the list. Information is power. Come in, let us tell you about how it works, and we can help get you started. The journey of 1,000 miles
starts with one step. So, and our question for Randy on the hotline is, when is the best time to look at houses?
Well, ideally, the best time to look at houses, and Joseph just chimed in and kind of gave it away. The best time to look at houses is when it's raining, okay? Because the rain is going to reveal all of the imperfections of the house. If the roof is leaking, if the basement's leaking and all that stuff, you're only going to find that out if you have a water source. You can't stand on the outside of the house and throw buckets of water at it.
Turn the hose on.
Turn the hose on, spray the roof for an hour, see if it leaks. So that is a great time. Beyond that, and you can't always plan for rainy days, but don't ever cancel showings because it's raining. It's the best time to go.
It is, and plus you can kind of see how dreary. I always tell people this is the saddest your house is going to look.
Yep.
If it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when it's in theory supposed to be sunny, this is how much daylight you get with the sun.
Yep. And you don't want to look at it probably at night in the rain, because you don't want to look at it at night, necessarily either. But in the wintertime, from let's say November, when we'd have that dreaded change of time, to
daylight savings,
mid-February, when it's bright enough out again, you are going to be looking at houses at night. But you can always preview the house and drive by the outside of it during the day. You should always be doing that anyway. So to answer the question fully, rain definitely is a good time, but ideally early in the day, early in the week. And the reason why for that is because you want to look at houses when nobody else is out there looking, and when nobody else is out there putting contracts. If you're out there Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m., guess what? The rest of the world is out there at Saturday at 3 p.m. as well.
Yep.
And if you put an offer in, chances are there's probably at least 1 or 2 other people that might be putting an offer in as well. But if you went to go see that house Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., no competition.
No competition, and you won't have overlapping appointments, which is always a little awkward. So come on out. We work all the time, so let's go out during the week. When it's raining, we'll get our galoshes on. Galoshes, is that a thing? Galoshes?
Yeah, because my feet are still wet because I'm not wearing my galoshes.
Oh, galoshes. We'll bring you an umbrella, and we'll look at houses. So thank you guys for tuning in today.
Yep. And if you guys have questions, write in, call in, whatever. And if you're looking to buy a house in 2019, now's the time to be planning. Let's talk.
Yep. Don't wait until you think you're ready, because you're probably already ready, is the truth.
Have a great Thursday. Had to stop and take a look at that.
It is Thursday.
And a great weekend, and enjoy the rest of January. We'll see you soon.
Enjoy the rain.